Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I apologize for not uploading this today. I had to kind of get over Liverpool losing the Carabao Cup final. But we must say, Newcastle United deservedly winners of the Carabao Cup. Newcastle United have ended their 70-year wait for a major trophy by beating Liverpool by 2-1 at Wembley in the Carabao Cup final 2025. Completely deserved and a completely brilliant victory for Eddie Howe and his Newcastle side. Missing key players, Lewis Hall, Anthony Gordon, but they wanted it more and got the job done. If you're new here, guys, as ever, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. It means a lot to the channel. About 49 subscribers away from 400 subs. Can we get it by the end of the month? Only you guys can help me to get there. So make sure you share it to all your friends. But let's talk about the game. I kind of had to process what happened yesterday. That's why I didn't really upload a video yesterday and kind of needed to have moments to myself, especially the long week a lot of Liverpool fans have had, losing to Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League, obviously not being knocked out of the competition, now losing a cup final, which season looks so promising, which it still is with a Premier League title. But everyone's going to look back at the season and think, oh, maybe Plymouth knocked us out the FA Cup. We lost the final to Newcastle. Paris Saint-Germain were winning 1-0, had the return leg at Anfield. Lots of things are going to be on the minds of Liverpool supporters, I'm sure, come the summer. But you have to give credit to Newcastle. They had a game plan and they showed fight, determination, a spirit, and a will to win. And ultimately, you don't have to be a better team over a season to beat a team in a one-off game. It's a final. It matters about who was better on the day. And Newcastle were able to basically play Liverpool out the game, and long balls, set pieces, made it rough, made it tackles in there from Joe Linton, Bruno Guimaraes, Tonali, and ultimately it resulted in a Newcastle victory. They completely dominated Liverpool from minute 1 to the end. Liverpool had a consolation with Federico Chiesa, who I will get onto a bit later. But you look at the way Newcastle played, they learned their lesson from the Carabao Cup final 2 years ago after the defeat to Manchester United. And you just expected a bit more from Liverpool, knowing the experience that a lot of these players have in the final. They were in the final last year. They're going to win the title. A manager who's got a decent record in the Cups that's finaled. You kind of expected Liverpool to just come out and show Newcastle that they are the experienced side here. But look, in football, it's like that anybody can beat anyone, especially when you play as brilliant as Newcastle did yesterday with a clear structure and a clear game plan. And Eddie Howe basically nullified everything Liverpool had going for them. And you look at Mo Salah, who was basically marked out of the game by Livramento and Dan Burn coming across, and you saw Joe Linton coming across, and it was just not good enough for Liverpool. And it's a sense of, with Liverpool especially, I've noticed it over the last couple of months, and I think a lot of fans were saying it before as well, that when you stop Mo Salah playing in the game for Liverpool, you have a very, very good chance of beating Liverpool. And Newcastle understood that Mo Salah is the danger. He can turn up whenever it matters. He doesn't even need to be in the game to contribute somewhere. And Newcastle basically nullified Mo Salah for 100% of the game. I don't think he had a shot on goal that was really threatening, and it's very unlike Mo Salah to do so. But look, you have to give credit to the Newcastle players. They showed a will to win, and look, 70 years is a long time for these Geordies to win a trophy. So if I wanted any team to beat Liverpool in a final, it'd probably been Newcastle. They're a big club. They've started to kind of elevate themselves into that European positions again. They played Champions League last season, unfortunate to go out, but had a big win against Paris Saint-Germain. Obviously, they're now guaranteed European football after winning the Carabao Cup. They will be at least in the Conference League next season, so that's a bonus for Newcastle. Still up in and around, the top 4 positions with a real chance of getting to the top 5 now, which will be the Champions League position. So it will be a season of brilliance for Newcastle. Eddie Howe has been that manager to end Newcastle's long wait for a trophy. And look, I know it's just a Carabao Cup, but when your team hasn't won a trophy for that many years, it just means a bit more. And I'm sure Newcastle supporters, and there'll be a party in Newcastle for the next whoever knows how God, whoever like knows how long it will go on for, but God knows. And look, for me, it's disappointing, especially losing a final. It's never nice losing a final, especially when you support the team that lost. But when you take into the consideration that this is Slot's first season in charge, it's not his players. He's brought one signing in Chiesa, who, like I said, I will speak on Federico Chiesa. And he's going to win Liverpool their second Premier League title in about 35 years. It's quite insane when you think about it. And people are undermining the season as a kind of like a, oh, Slot's this, Slot that. No, he got it wrong yesterday. You did get it wrong. You know, when you kind of play the same players week in, week out, there will be some tiresome legs after grueling 100 whatever minutes it was against Paris Saint-Germain over the 2 legs. Playing this kind of the similar team against Southampton a couple of days before, and then throwing the same team out in the Carabao Cup final. So it is looking like, you know, Slot doesn't like to rotate as much, but you have to give credit to Slot. He has had a fabulous season, but I think one thing he needs to work on is his usage of players, because look, likes of Harvey Elliott coming on. Every time he's played, he's contributed. A goal away at Paris Saint-Germain, doesn't start against Southampton. Scores in the Cup, scored against Southampton in the EFL Cup. He contributes every time he comes on, scores in the Champions League. Federico Chiesa, another one that's not played any football this season, but anytime he plays, he contributes something. Got assist against West Ham on his debut, full debut. Against Bournemouth right at the start of the season in September, he hit the post in the last 10 minutes of the game, whatever he did, he came on. Against Southampton in the Cup, he looked very, very lively. Against Lille, he come off the bench on the left. He was getting shots off. He was beating players. He just has that natural flair. And against Plymouth, he wasn't great, but nobody was great. Neither was Jota and Diaz. And for some reason, they get to start the Cup final. And look, Chiesa comes on, he made a difference. Maybe fresh legs, but he started isolating the fullbacks, cutting inside, causing a problem, getting shots away, getting into central positions, and scoring a great goal, and kept himself onside. And honestly, I've not seen a Liverpool striker finish from a central position like that, like Chiesa did on his weak foot. Really, really good finish. And it begs the question, has Chiesa been underutilized by Arne Slot? Has Harvey Elliott been underutilized by Arne Slot? Wataru Endo not even involved? So, look, if I'm Arne Slot, I would play Chiesa, because Luis Diaz and Diogo Jota didn't do themselves any favour. Neither did Mo Salah. But the performances of Diaz and Jota as of late have not been good. So I think Chiesa deserves his chance. Whether he's here next season is another question. But I think for what's left of the season, I think he needs to play, because you can see he does have quality and he can contribute. In these games where you think Liverpool are lacking somebody that can pick up the ball and put it in the net, Chiesa can do that. He's a runner. He can drive with the ball, and he can beat his fullback left, right. He's comfortable everywhere. So I just hope he gets his chance. But look, more on Newcastle, because I think we spoke enough about Liverpool, and Arne Slot did get it wrong. What I will give credit to Eddie Howe for is the way he set up his team. Look, he understood Liverpool, especially the first goal. Let's look at the first goal. So Liverpool set up zonally with Van Dijk and Konate in the centre of the box, and Dan Burn attacking from the edge of the box, because then you'd think, okay, if Dan Burn's, running from the edge of the box, so you want somebody big to mark him, like Gravenberch or Konate and Virgil. But then if you leave that gap there for zonal marking, if you leave the zone free, you take Virgil, Ibo out, you lose the aerial dominance in the middle. And then Newcastle exploit that. So I think Eddie Howe did marvelously to execute that. He played the ball deep to Dan Burn, running onto it from the edge of the box, and he's got a free header with that much power. It was amazing. And obviously, a corner like that takes Virgil and Konate out of the game, because they're in the centre box. The ball's going to the edge of the box, and nobody's there that's aerially dominant marking Dan Burn. He's got a free header because Alexi McAllister's marking him. And I thought that was really, really smart from Eddie Howe, and it seemed to work, because they scored from it, and it kind of set themselves forward to get the second goal. And they had the ball in the net a couple of times, Newcastle. Alexander Isak had the ball in the back of the net for a kind of goal, not offside. I think it was offside. Guimaraes was in the vision of Kelleher. That's why the goal was ruled out. But then you look at the finish for the second goal. Murphy flicks it on, and Isak on the spin, the ball spinning, and he hits the ball in the back of the net. And that's what you call a real number 9. And that's ultimately what the difference was yesterday. Newcastle had somebody that could score the goal from a chance, because in the first half, Isak wasn't in the game. But the top players, they turn up when it matters. And when it mattered for Newcastle, he managed to get themselves a goal. And that's what ultimately separates Liverpool and Newcastle. And like I said, without Mo Salah performing, nobody really seems to be stepping up for Liverpool. Gakpo's not fit. We all know about Nunez, Jota, and Diaz's problems, and Chiesa doesn't get minutes. And now he scored, and I hope he gets more. But you look at the brilliance of Alexander Isak. It's why he's the top striker in the Premier League alongside Haaland, because he can just do that out of absolutely nothing. And that is what you call a world-class number 9. And look, their whole team deserves this trophy because, look, Guimaraes, Trippier, Isak, Tonali, they all believed in the project. And what he's done with Joe Linton, Eddie Howe, to make him a centre midfielder, box-to-box, tackling hard midfield player from that failed striker that he was signed from Hoffenheim. It's really insane when you think about the job Eddie Howe's done. Picking him up from relegation, I know he spent a bit of money, but he's not spent ridiculous amounts of money. He spent money, of course, because any manager needs to spend money to do well. You can't sustain yourself if you're not, spending money, but he spent money in the right positions. Guimaraes, Trippier, Isak, Botman not involved, Lewis Hall, Livramento, Lewis Hall also not involved, Anthony Gordon not involved, but he's built a nice 11, and I'm sure there'll be many, many days when Newcastle win a lot more trophies because they're a big club and they deserve it. And I saw a lot of Newcastle fans online and videos saying this is the first time they've seen their team win a trophy for a long time, 70 odd years. It's madness. And you know what? Look, I'm happy for them, and I can accept when my team wasn't the best and the other team was better, and that's when Newcastle won. And ultimately, that's why they won the Carabao Cup final. And I have no shame in admitting that the last 2-3 games that Liverpool have played, the teams that we've played have been better than us. I thought Southampton were better than us in the first half. I thought Paris Saint-Germain were better than us, and Newcastle today. And look, there will be highs and lows, and that's the nature of football. But Newcastle got their high and Liverpool got their low. But I'm sure come May, Liverpool are going to be on the highest of highs when they lift that Premier League title, finally in front of fans. But look, congratulations to Newcastle. I'm very, very proud of you. I'm very, very impressed with the way you won that game because it showed me that you're a serious, serious team. And I really hope that you get into the Champions League because you deserve it. They deserve it. And a big club, they finally got their reward. Liverpool win the league. Newcastle win the Carabao Cup. Isak could be a Liverpool player. You know what? I'd take that. Newcastle, you take the Carabao Cup. We'll take Alexander Isak. I'm joking. But guys, look, thank you for watching the video again. I kind of got over the final now. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.